Shalom Mashpaka Yabashim Yasha Barakatham. Coming to you live on a Shabbat, bringing in wisdom and understanding. We have Officer Dawa with me. I'm Captain Jocelyn. Khan, all praises. And we're gonna bring out some edification on UBI. As you can see in the presentation, we got hands with blood that have content within them, and we have a mind with gears with content in that mind. And we also have the number of man, 666. We're going to be touching on all of these things. It's a very touchy subject, and there's a lot of prophecy that goes into it. So today I want to bring to light a lot of the things that we see happening right before our very eyes. One thing that popped up while I was working on this lesson, and I was creating this lesson before this happened, but it was the dock workers striking, right? They were striking, the ports were shut down, and there's a reason for that. And that reason tied in perfectly to this lesson. So let me give all glory and all honor and all praise to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Mashiach for putting it on our spirit to as watchmen to bring this lesson to light and to warn the people of things to come. And we just want to show what we can actually see happening. And a lot of the things that I'm going to be presenting, they've been going on for years. They just haven't been relevant. Like I didn't even know this the dock workers on strike was a relevant thing until recently. But then I hear that it's been actually going on for a while. It just now got built up to this point. So there's things going on but behind the scenes that we don't notice, and somebody's got to bring it to light. So here we have a lesson, and it's called UBI, and that stands for, it has two meanings, and I'll explain the next meaning in a second. But the way that I labeled it and broke it down is unbelieving, begging Israelites. And I want to explain what that means, and I'm going to use this whole entire lesson to explain what that means. It's very deep. It's very deep. We have unbelieving, begging Israelites. So who are these unbelieving Israelites begging to or begging for? And how did we get to that point? We're going to explain all that in this lesson. So stay tuned. There's a lot of edification, some meat, some prophecies, and we just want to again bring all of this to light. The Lord put it on our spirit to bring this forth. So let's jump right into it. All right. Khan. So we're going to go straight into the introduction to UBI. And UBI stands for Universal Basic Income. Can you read that for me, officer?
Khan. Introduction to UBI, Universal Basic Income. Universal Basic Income is a social welfare proposal in which all citizens of a given population regularly receive a minimum income through an unconditional transfer payment without needing to work.
Doesn't that sound like a dream? They're selling you a dream. That sounds like you're telling me I can receive a minimum income unconditionally and I don't need to work? That's a lazy Jake's dream.
Man.
That's a lazy Jake's dream. The Lord says you're supposed to work the fourth commandment. No, Salagia. Khan, the fourth commandment. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shall you labor, and on the seventh you shall rest, right? So Jake is like, hey, I don't even gotta work no more. I could just get this universal basic income, this UBI, I'm gonna get this minimum income. I'm gonna just barely be scraping by, but I'm gonna still be scraping by. And I'm gonna get it. And I don't even need to work. And they say it's unconditional. So even if I'm a criminal, even if I'm not keeping the law, statutes, commandment, even if I don't got a job, even if I treat my lady wrong, if I don't take care of my kids, guess what? I'm gonna still get this unconditional payment. That's a dream that they're pushing on the people. They're selling dreams. Okay. So that's what UBI is about. Okay. UBI is giving all citizens, okay, all citizens of what system, though? All citizens of what system? Keep that in your mind. You got to be a participant in that system, right? Is it America? Is it in Africa? Is it in Mexico? Is it in Russia? Is it where is this taking place? All citizens of where, right? So we got to take that into consideration. What's It's unconditional? Is that true? Is that true? Read this, Officer Babakasha.
Come. Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
Pause there. He causeth all. Okay. That serpent, that devil, the deceiver is going to deceive you into, and it doesn't matter who you are. That's what it's saying. Small and great. It don't matter if you the most famous, you the president, or you a homeless man on the street. Small and great. Rich and poor. If you got $1 billion in the bank, or you got $1 in the bank. Rich and poor. Okay. Free and bond. Don't matter if you're in jail or if you're free. You're this is to all people, okay? He causeth all, okay? Now, he causes you because you have to submit yourself to this system, okay? That's how he causes you. He's basically forcing you, and I'm gonna show in a little bit how that's the case, how he causes you. Now, it doesn't mean that he's literally forcing you, but it almost is as if he's forcing you. You feel like in your mind, you have no other decision but to take this mark. You feel like there's no other way because you are an unbelieving Israelite. You don't believe that the Most High God will take care of you and provide for you like he did for our forefathers with the manna in the wilderness. Where do you think this is all headed? There's nothing new under the sun. And we're going to get some accounts of that too in with the Maccabean brothers of them going out into the wilderness as well. We're going to touch on all that later, right? But notice it says they're going to be a part of the system and they're going to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Okay? In their right hand or in their foreheads. Go ahead, officer. Verse 17.
Verse 17. Revelation, Salakia. Yeah, Revelation 13:17. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
Con. So you can't buy or sell, right? You can't go to the grocery store. You can't pay your rent.
Mhm.
You can't buy a car. You, you can't do nothing. You can't do nothing. You can't pay your electricity. You can't pay the garbage. What are you gonna do? Your whole life as you know it is come to a halt. You don't know what to do. You got to make a decision now. Do I give in? Do I sell out? Or do I keep my morals? Do I keep serving the Most High God? I've heard of this. Even if you're not Israel, you're gonna still ponder on this and think, man, I've heard of this before. the mark of the beast. We can't. You talking about I gotta walk up to the grocery store and scan my hand or my forehead before I walk in through the door? Just to get in the building, I gotta scan my hand or my forehead, and then it's gonna know exactly who I am, and then I can go in. But if I can't scan nothing, I'm not walking through that door into the supermarket to uh buy my groceries that I need to provide for myself and my children, right? Oh, save he, that means except he that had the mark. So if you sell out and you go into this system, hey, you can take a part of this system. You can be a part of it. And if this, from what I understand, if it does go into this UBI, this universal balance income, now they're paying you to be a sellout. And also the benefits is they're paying you and you can partake in their beast system, right? You got to take the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Now I'm going to go into the name of the beast. I'm going to go into the number of his name. We're going to touch on that very shortly. Okay. But I want to watch some YouTube videos first before we go into those. Okay. Now watch this. Remember, right hand or your forehead. Let's watch this.
Doctor inserts the microchip between your thumb and index finger using a device
Hold on real quick. What hand is he inserting it in? I just want to throw that out there. That's literally your right hand. Look at that. That's a right hand right there. Okay. And he's inserting a what? Microchip into your hand. Okay.
similar to a syringe. Now, these chips can actually be really helpful tools, and they utilize the same technology.
What did he just do there with his hand? He just purchased something. He just purchased something at the store with his right hand. Okay. Now hey, I'm just providing evidence. It's all I'm doing. I'm just connecting dots. The Most High put it on our spirit to bring this out. I'm just connecting the dots. That's all that's going on. Go ahead.
Used in phone payments. With this tiny device, your body essentially becomes a contactless key. It can open doors.
It can what? I didn't even catch that in the video, and I had just spoke about it. Oh yeah, you want to come into our grocery store? Yeah, guess what? You better scan that hand on the thing that's on the outside that's going to read it, and then the door will open up for you. But if you can't scan it because you didn't take the mark, hey, guess what? Yeah, you can't come in. Now watch it.
Using sensors and can even start a car. They last anywhere from 10 to 20 years and can be removed with a small incision in the skin.
Wow. So that was insane. Let's watch this one.
This morning, Elon Musk announcing that for the first time, his company Neuralink has implanted a brain chip in a human. Musk saying the person is recovering.
They implanted a brain chip. Now remember, in their right hand or in their forehead. What's right behind your forehead?
God, your brain.
Your brain. He's like literally putting a brain chip in you. What you got, officer?
I was just saying, it's like, you really want to be on that side of the prophecy? The one making
our people are literally begging for it, and I'm gonna touch on that. But our people are literally begging for it.
Also, I'm talking about like people like Elon Musk and all them. You're literally carrying out the prophecy on the evil side. So
right.
These are men that Most High uses.
And I like that you use that because there's nothing you can do to change this from happening. It has to happen. Prophecy has to be fulfilled. There's no going around. Oh, let me just dodge it. I'm gonna find another route. No, it has to happen. But you have a choice on whether you're gonna be on the left-hand side or on the right-hand side. You're gonna be a sheep or you're gonna be a goat. What's it gonna be? You got a choice. Are you gonna serve this beast system or are you gonna serve the Most High God? Okay, let's keep going with this video.
Recovering well, initial results show promising neuron spike detection. Neuralink's goal is to help paralysis patients communicate by connecting their brain to a computer.
Hold on. Connected their brain to a computer. That's connecting your mind, your consciousness to a system. That's insane. Come on.
The device is designed to interpret your neural activity so you can operate a computer or a smartphone by simply thinking.
People paralyzed from
You can operate a computer or a smartphone by just simply thinking about it. That's how integrated it is into your system, into your mind. You become one with that system.
stroke from traumatic brain injury or a spinal cord injury could see the benefits.
This would be a major game changer.
Hold on. Do you see how they're pushing this?
Mm-hmm.
They're showing you. Oh, look where they're starting with. They're starting with the crippled, the maimed, the disabled. So they start there because they're like, look at all these great benefits that these unfortunate people can receive. They start there, so they make it seem like it's such a great thing. Oh, look, we just got this person to start walking. Oh, look, this person could use his brain and he can answer the phone and he can type on the computer now, even though he can't move one limb. Oh, we're making progress. Look at all the great things that we're doing. What does it say? Scripture say, woe unto them that call good evil and evil good.
Gone.
That's what's going on here. They're calling their evil good. And they're flaunting it. They're boasting about it.
If it were to be proven to be safe and effective.
The FDA approved Neuralink for human tests last May after years of testing on animals.
Here's one electrode on one thread that when we stimulate.
They've been working on this for years. It's nothing new. It's been years.
Causes a flexion movement of the leg.
The company demonstrated the ability of its implants to stimulate movement.
As you can see, Pager is amazingly good at mind palm.
Allowing a monkey to play a video game.
And what better reward for a monkey than a banana?
Musk says the first human users will be people who've lost the use of their limbs. But speaking about the long term, he said, imagine if Stephen Hawking could communicate faster than a speed typist or auctioneer. That is the goal.
I really do think that in my lifetime as a physician, I'll be able to use this type of technology to help my patients, and I cannot wait for that day to come.
Neuralink's engine.
She's begging for it. I cannot wait. I'm excited. I'm begging for this. I wish it was here already. Insane. And she's going to help her patients.
Engineers aren't the only ones turning science fiction into reality. Researchers elsewhere helped this man, paralyzed in an accident, walk again thanks to implants in his brain and spine. And in August, this woman who had lost her voice to paralysis was able to have a conversation with her husband again thanks to a mind-controlled avatar.
Do not make me laugh.
Hold on. Look at where that damn cord is attached to. You see that, officer? You see what's sticking out of her brain?
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
It's madness.
And they're using AI so she can speak through AI, through the damn system, to her husband.
These things got to be fulfilled, man. It's crazy seeing it happen.
Oh my goodness. Literally hooked up to the brain. Oh my goodness. In San Francisco, of course, I've seen it. It's at UC San Francisco.
Experts warn much more testing and research is needed before any kind of widespread use of these devices.
Wow.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more...
Next.
Notice how he says widespread. They're already planning for it. It's already, yeah.
Oh yeah. They know what they're doing, but that's why they have trial runs. COVID-19 was a trial run before they pushed this, or they might push something else before this. But COVID-19 was a trial run. We're gonna touch on that. I'm not gonna go there. I'm gonna touch on it in a minute. I'm not gonna go there yet. Now, I want you to read this, officer.
Why do we need UBI? Because AI is taking all of the jobs.
You got to ask yourself, what is the point of this universal balanced income? Oh, yeah. I mean, why? You think you're just going to get some free money? You think you're going to get some free money for unconditionally and you don't got to work and they're just going to give you some free money? There's no strings attached. There's no catch. No, you're buying into the dream. But the reason why you need UBI, I'm going to give you the strings attached. I'm going to tell you why you need or they want to give you the universal balance income, because they know what's coming. They already plan what's coming. Because artificial intelligence is taking all of our jobs. And you can add automation into that. AI, artificial intelligence, ties in with automation. Okay? Automation, everything is becoming automated, and we're losing hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of jobs because of automation and artificial intelligence. Okay? And don't believe me, though. Don't believe me. You could believe if you want, believe what Elon says. I mean, he's gonna tell you himself.
Would your kind of observation be on AI and the impact on labor markets and people's jobs and how they should feel about that as they think about this?
Well, I think we are seeing the most disruptive force in history here.
The most disruptive force in history. Listen to what this man is saying. He is speaking facts. Somewhat. It's a very disruptive force. It's moving at a rate that is unthinkable. There's people getting their jobs eliminated because a robot can now do it. A robot is cheaper. A robot is not going to call off sick. A robot is not going to have problems or start a fight, or they can just pay one person to watch over or a small team to watch over the robots, do the work. They don't need a workforce no more. Okay? It's a disruptive force. And so if it's a disruptive force and it's taking up all the jobs, how are you going to pay your bills? How are you going to take care of your family? Okay? Think about it.
We have for the first time, we will have for the first time something that is smarter than the smartest human. And that, I mean, it's hard to say exactly what that moment is, but there will come a point where no job is needed. You can have a job if you want to have a job for sort of personal satisfaction, but the AI will be able to do everything.
No job is needed unless you want to work, unless you want to. Then you can. It's a privilege for you to go ahead and go to work if you want. But hey, guess what? AI, yeah, they're taking up all the jobs. Let that sink in. He's telling you before it even happens. It's happening now, but at a slow rate, but it's gonna increase as their technology gets better, as their system improves. And like he said, they got technology that's smarter than the smartest human. So that AI is creating better artificial intelligence, improving itself, and so it's going to move at a quicker rate now. Let that sink in.
So I don't know if that makes people comfortable or uncomfortable. It's that's why I say if you wish for a magic genie, that gives you any wishes you want, and there's no limit. You don't have those three wish limit nonsense. You just have as many wishes as you want. It's both good and bad. One of the challenges in the future will be, how do we find meaning in life? If you have a magic genie that can do everything you want, I do think it's hard. When there's new technology, it tends to usually follow an S curve. In this case, we're going to be on the exponential portion of the S curve for a long time, and you'll be able to, like, so you'll be able to ask for anything. It won't be, and we won't have universal basic income. We'll have universal high income.
What? So he just told you it's gonna move at an alarming rate in less in an easier term. It's gonna move at an alarming rate for a long time. And guess what? Nah, it's not gonna be universal balance income that they're gonna receive. It's gonna be a universal high income. You see what he's doing there?
Mm-hmm.
He's got smooth words. He's smooth with his words. He's telling you it ain't gonna just be a little bit of money. You're gonna receive a high income. It's gonna be a big check. Don't worry, you sell out. But he's not telling you you gotta sell out though. You see, he's not giving you the dark side. He's not letting you know all of that. He's just telling you, yeah, we see that AI, yeah, it's gonna take all the jobs, but that's why we're gonna give you not a universal balance income. We're gonna give you a universal high income. You're gonna get a lot of money. But you just telling me I'm just gonna get money? I don't gotta work. I don't, it's unconditional. There's no strings attached. There's no catch. That's what they're not telling you. There is a catch, but they're not gonna tell you that. That's why us, as the watchmen, we bring it out and let you know with evidence showing you, proving to you biblically and also through what we see, in the media and all of that. We're showing, we're proving it. And they're even out of the own damn devil's mouth himself. He's telling you it's coming at an alarming rate. And we're going to give you a big check, but they're not telling you why. So, what is universal high income? Before you read that, officer, I was talking about those smooth words. Can you read that Psalms 55 and 21, Babakasha?
Book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords.
Man, it sounds good. The dream is smoother than butter, but war is in that man's heart. And who's he at war with? Anyone that's not about to submit themselves to that beast system, and especially the Israelites. His words were softer than oil. It felt so good to hear that I'm going to get paid and I ain't even got to work. But you didn't see he had drawn swords behind his back because he didn't even tell you that he had them drawn swords behind his back. And he about to cut you down if you speak against his beast system. Okay? Now, officer, can you read that underneath automation?
Come. Elon Musk's idea of universal high income addresses potential job displacement due to automation by providing a guaranteed income to all citizens, regardless of employment status.
It's the same exact thing we brought out at the very beginning when we introduced UBI. Okay. Now, this one says the idea of this universal high income is addressing the issue, right, of job displacement due to automation known as AI, artificial intelligence, right? These robots, they're taking over. They understand we as people are no longer going to have jobs, or unless we want to work, like he says, unless we want to have a job, but you won't need one. But if you want to, you can. And they're providing guaranteed income, okay, to all citizens. Citizens of what system? Citizens of the beast system. If you're not a part of that system, you don't get this guaranteed income. But this is the thing that they're not telling you. They're just telling you you're going to get paid. You don't know that there's a sword behind his back. So again, us as watchmen, we're letting you know that sword, he has it hidden. and he's going to draw it when he needs to. And it says you're going to, regardless of your employment status, regardless if you got a job or not, you'll receive this income. Okay? They're letting you know. And I was working on this lesson before I came across the dock workers striking at the ports. And when I seen that, I was like, man, all praises. That's literally what I'm talking about right now. That's literally what, if you guys have paid attention, why are they striking? It's not just for better pay. It's not just for better pay. The second reason is really the most important reason, but that they're not putting that on the forefront. A lot of times they're just saying they want better pay. They are saying the second reason, but I feel like it's just kind of being brushed under the rug and people aren't really taking that into consideration. Okay? I'm gonna play the video, and all praises to the Most High. This literally goes perfectly with this lesson. And some people are starting to be aware of it and pay attention to it and see it and see it affect the people around them. Okay? Watch this.
About 45,000 dock workers who run major shipping ports across the U.S. could go on strike as early as tomorrow. If that happens, it could block millions of products from reaching store shelves. I want to bring in global economic correspondent for the New York Times, Peter Goodman, to break this down for us. He's also the author of How the World Ran Out of Everything. Peter, great to have you.
Thanks for having me.
So first, for people who are just like sort of tuning into this and picking this story up, what are some of the demands of the union?
The union is really focused on automation. You know, for as long as companies have been operating vessels and moving around the globe, they've looked to use machinery as a way to limit their vulnerability to strikes. They'd rather pay robots than people. Robots don't demand breaks. They don't have sick children to look after. They don't have demands for wage increases. The other thing is they want hefty wage increases. They're looking at the fact that...
Now, did you hear what he said? He said the union is fighting for these workers to keep automation away. You can't bring in this automation because we understand what that's going to do to our workers. They're going to lose their jobs. They're going to have no more work because you guys just want to automate everything. Like he said, you rather pay a robot. You rather pay a robot, artificial intelligence, automation, whatever. You rather pay that because it doesn't demand more pay. It doesn't call out sick. It doesn't have problems. It doesn't have a mind of its own. You control it. You tell it what to do. And that's what these elites want. They want a slave. That's what it is. And these robots will be their slaves.
God.
We're seeing it. People are speaking about it, literally spitting straight facts.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all tying in with this mark of the beast. Let's keep going on this.
Shipping carriers have been earning record profits for much of the last several years, going back to the disruptions of the pandemic, and they want a piece of the action.
And so what do the companies say who are resistant to the union demands?
The companies have been very quiet about the nitty-gritty because they don't want to inflame the union. I mean, this is a union that is historically quite militant. Their trick is to threaten commerce and effectively sabotage international trade as a way to get higher wage demands. So there's been not a lot of public discussion of the demands, but privately they say that the union is overplaying its hand and that it's looking for more than the dock workers union that represents West Coast port workers got in contract talks that were wrapped up last year.
All right, so now, ordinary folks who are seeing all of this play out, they're wondering how this could affect them. So should folks start stocking up on food and other goods? We're certainly talking about a ripple effect on product shipments. Even something I know it's probably frivolous for some people, but it does power the economy. People who buy things online and want them shipped. There's a reason people sign up for Prime on Amazon to get that free shipping, to get that next day shipping. How could goods across the country be impacted?
Well, it really depends how long this goes on. I mean, if this lasts a day or two, it won't be that big a deal. I mean, shippers have seen this coming for months. And so a lot of cargo has been diverted to other places, especially to the West Coast ports. You've got rail and trucking connections. Now, the rail didn't do so well during the pandemic disruptions, and they've cut.
I'm going to pause it there, but notice how he said they seen this coming for months, but I just heard about it a couple of days ago. So they know that these things are going to happen, just like us, right? As watchmen, we can see something coming and another person can't see it. That's why we have to let them know, look, this is what is coming up, and you got to prepare yourself. Prepare yourself for these trials and tribulations that we're going to have to go through, and these persecutions, and just take note of that. Take note of that. I'm gonna go to the next thing, because that's pretty much it on that. So we finished the content in one hand, and we're gonna go to the content in the other hand. Okay, let's see what we got in this hand. All right, I'll read this one, officer. Okay. So it says, they create the initial problem. They manage the public reaction. They sell the pre-planned solution. This is the Hegelian Dialectic. You can go ahead and look that up, but that is what the Hegelian Dialectic is. And so their initial problem that they created is a generation or a nation of unbelievers. They don't believe that the Most High God is going to protect them and provide for them. But what they do believe is that if the government says, or Elon says, oh, you're going to give us guaranteed income, we believe in that. We'll sell out for that, right? They have you thinking and worrying, oh, am I going to lose my job? Am I not going to be able to pay my bills? Am I not going to be able to afford my mortgage or my rent? Am I going to be able to put food on the table for my kids? Am I still going to be able to participate in my hobbies and purchase cars and pay for gas and all of that? They're creating unbelieving people. And then they manage the public reaction, and with fear, they're pushing fear. You're fearful, not of the Most High God, but of man. These unbelievers fear man. What is he going to do? Are we really going to lose our jobs to AI? Or, okay, when we do, what happens? What choices do I have? I don't have no choice. I don't have no choice. I'm not going to be able to eat. I'm not going to be able to participate in this society. I have to sell out. That's all fear. Fear of man. Fear of not being able to have enough. That's what they're teaching you. They're creating unbelievers, and they're pushing fear on them. And then guess what? After they got done doing that, and they got you right where they want you, and they weakened you, and they sowed those seeds of discord in your mind, then they're going to sell you a pre-planned solution, because it was all a part of their agenda from the beginning. They're going to say, you know what? We understand you're going to lose your job to AI. We understand that you're fearful and you're scared. But guess what? Here, take this mark. Put this chip in your hand. Put this chip in your brain. Hey, you're going to get that universal high income. You're going to make a good check. But first, before you get that check, we require something of you. You got to take this. You got to be a part of our system. So we see here in the Hegelian dialectic, they created the initial problem. They're creating a nation of unbelievers. Okay? And they manage the public reaction. They are controlling the way that you react. And you react with fear, with disbelief. You're scared. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if you're going to be able to pay your bills, put food on the table, have a job, provide for your family, pay for your car, pay for gas, pay for your electricity, all that. You don't know what's coming, for you and your family and for your neighbors and for everyone that you love. You don't know what's coming for them. You're in a state of fear and despair. And so they have you where they want you. They have you weakened. They sowed those seeds of discord into your mind. And now they're going to sell you a pre-planned solution. They pushed their agenda on you. They knew what they did from the beginning, and it was all a part of the plan. And now they got you where they want you, and they're going to tell you, take the mark. Read it in the red. Unbelievers with fear, take the mark. Again, unbelievers with fear, take the mark. Fear of man, not fear of the Most High God, because if you feared the Most High God, you would not be a part of this system, because you understand that he can kill your body and your soul. Man can only kill the body. Okay? So, but people here, they only see what's in front of them. They only see the present, and they're fearful of their future, but they're going to feel some type of comfort and joy and security when they tell them, yeah, you're going to receive this universal high income. You're going to get a nice check. And you know what? You don't even have to go to work. And you know what? You can be a part of our beast system. But there's a catch we didn't tell you before. We didn't tell you before when you heard about this a while back. But now we're going to tell you, you got to take the mark. You got to you got to worship his image. You got to take the mark of the beast. Right? And if not, now look what's going on here on these phones. Good obedient citizen, bad citizen, obey or be punished. Okay? Obey or be punished. Now you're a good citizen if you take the mark and you you sell out and you be a part of that wicked system. But you're a bad citizen if you don't agree to be a part of that system. If you don't obey their laws, not the laws of the Most High God. That's what they're telling you. And if you don't obey, you're going to be punished. You're not going to be able to be a part of the system. You're not going to be able to go scan your hand on at the grocery store to even be let in through the door to go and purchase your groceries. We're just connecting all the dots. That's all that's going on. Now I want to touch on, there's nothing new under the sun. This has happened before in the book of Maccabees. Okay, so we're gonna go to that. Let's get it, officer. Grab that from me, Bakasha.
Book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people.
Pause there. Wrote to his whole kingdom, all should be one people. We are supposed to be a holy people. We are not supposed to be joined unto the heathens as Israelites, okay? Now, Antiochus wants us all to be one people. The beast system wants us to be one people. The Illuminati, the New World Order, they want us to be one people. That's why they got order out of chaos. They're going to cause chaos, then comes order. And if you don't subject yourself unto them and be a part of their system, you are a bad citizen. You are out of order. That's what they're going to push on you. It's nothing new under the sun. It's happened before. And let's see how the matters were handled. Go ahead.
Verse 42. And every one should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yeah, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion.
Pause there. The Israelites consented to his belief system. That's what religion is. It's a belief system. Our own people consented that they should be one people with the heathen, that they're going to do whatever the heathen tells them to do. They agreed to that. Not all the Israelites, but it said many of the Israelites. And we're going to see that when it comes to this beast system. Many of our own people are going to consent to the mark of the beast. And what are they going to do? Go ahead, officer.
And sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath.
Ouch. Punishable by death. Go ahead.
For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land.
Follow the strange laws of the land. Don't follow your laws. Follow our laws. Okay? Do what we tell you to do. Yeah, that mark. Hey, I know the scripture says if you take that mark of the beast, yeah, you won't be able to go into the kingdom. But guess what? You got to follow our laws. Our laws say you have to take that mark to be a part of this society. Go ahead.
God. For the king had sent letters by messengers unto the Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice, and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days, and pollute the sanctuary and holy people, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised, and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation.
Pause there. All of that is taking place right here, right now. They're profaning the Sabbath day. They're polluting the sanctuary and the holy people. They're setting up altars. They're setting up groves. They're setting up chapels of idols. They're sacrificing swine's flesh and unclean beasts. We're leaving our children uncircumcised. We're making our souls abominable with manner of all uncleanness.
Okay.
Go ahead. 49.
49. To the end they might forget the law.
Read that one more time.
To the end they might forget the law.
That's what they're hoping that you will do. They are hoping that you will forget the law that the Most High God gave to you with a blood covenant. They're hoping that you forget that. They're pushing their agenda. They're indoctrinating you in their schools. They're putting channels in front of you to teach you their vision on what they want you to know and learn. You're receiving all of that, and in hopes, they're hoping that you will forget the law. you will forget who you are. Go ahead.
Salakia,
Mhm.
has that happened?
Gone.
They did it.
Yeah.
Now we're coming back, but as a whole,
Yeah. Yep.
2/3.
Yep. That's again, remember in 43, many of the Israelites consented to their religion.
Yep.
To his religion. Whoo. Man. Go ahead. Read 49 again, Babakasha.
To the end they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. And
Yep. Why are people worshiping on Sunday? Changing ordinances. Go ahead.
And whosoever would not do according Salakia,
No
would
worries.
not do according to the Salakia Cap, you're able to scroll up a little bit.
No, Salak, I'll read it then. Salak, if you can't see
I
it.
can see it now.
Oh, you can see it?
I had to get the thing to go away.
Oh, okay, come.
Would not do according to the commandment of the king. He said he should die.
He should what?
Die.
Whoever is not gonna take this mark of the beast, he should die. That's what they got for you. If you're not gonna be a good citizen and participate in their beast system, they want you to die. They don't want to let you go and buy their groceries and buy food and have water and have a roof over your head. If they don't want to provide those things for you, what do they want you to do? They want you to die.
God.
They're leaving you to die. That's just what it is. It's nothing new. You know what? I don't even want to say it. Go ahead and read it, officer. Ecclesiastes 1 and 9 and 10.
Ecclesiastes 1 and 9 through 10. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun.
We see it happen before. We're seeing it happening again. Go ahead.
Is there anything where it may be said, see, this is new? It hath been already of old time, which was before us.
Hey, the time of the Maccabean brothers, that was before us. It was happening then, and now it's happening now. So we were given these accounts to understand how to operate and how to maneuver through these situations and what our forefathers did as an example to us to know how we should move through the spirit and handle this matter. Okay. Now we're going to touch on the accounts coming up pretty soon. Okay. But we're going to watch this.
What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea, a new world order, where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause to achieve the universal aspirations of mankind: peace and security, freedom, and the rule of law.
The rule of law. Wasn't that? Let me go back. Hey, you're going to consent to our religion. Hey, you're going to follow our strange laws. Hey, he said, we're trying to gather all the nations together and we're trying to come together and be at peace. Isn't that what Antiochus was saying back then, thousands of years ago? Ain't nothing changed. All should be one people. That's what he literally just said. We're trying to all become one people. How can they get us all to become one people? Through the mark of the beast. They're going to have us tapped in our minds and in our hands. All right, so we're going to go to the next slide. All right, officer, if you could read Revelations 14 and 9 through 11, Babakasha.
God. So the book of Revelations, chapter 14, verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God,
which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name.
That's a lot of meat and potatoes to take in, and we're gonna slow roast them and make sure that we can get as much information as possible, digest as much information as we possibly can from this. And that's why I kind of color coordinated the words as we go so it can make it real more the most impactful parts can hopefully make a little more sense to us. So we can see here, if any man worship, right? A man is worshiping. What is this man worshiping? He's worshiping the beast, okay? The beast and his image, okay? You're worshiping an image. That's breaking the second commandment. Not to have any graven images, right? Don't make any graven images and don't bow down and worship them, right? But we see here there is an image being made and they're also worshiping it. And they're receiving his mark in his forehead or in his hand. Now, from the videos we've seen earlier, we've seen that there was microchips being put into the hand, the right hand, and we see the microchips also being implanted into the brain through Neuralink, right? Now look at that. The people are begging to receive this, right? You got people that are paralyzed, paraplegics, that are literally signing up and begging and pleading to receive this. That's a form of worshiping. They're worshiping Elon and saying, oh, this guy is doing miracles, wonders with this technology that he's giving to the people. Oh, and he's also starting with the less fortunate. That's how they get you. That's how they deceive you. Remember, the devil, he's a deceiver. He's gonna deceive you. He's gonna make evil look good, and he's gonna make good look evil. That's what he's gonna do to you. He's gonna deceive you, right? And so it says that if you do take this mark, if you do receive it in your hand or your forehead, and you do worship this beast, you are going to be tormented. Okay? That's what's coming for you. There's no way around it. That's thus saith the Lord. You're going to receive torment. Okay? It says, those, and they have no rest, day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receives the mark of his name. Okay? I want to go into the Strongs. And this is the Strongs for mark. It says charagma. Now let's get the Strongs and understand what charagma means. It says from the same as G5482, a scratch or etching. Literally like a tattoo is an etching. Okay? Guess what? The robot that implants, it's not even a human that implants the brain chip. It's a robot. And guess what? They call it a sewing machine because it etches the connectors into the from the chip, the connectors into the brain, literally etching the connectors into your brain. That is crazy. That's what mark means. So if you receive his mark, I'm just putting the puzzle pieces together, okay? says you receive his mark in your forehead or your hand. Okay. Now we see it says mark, right? When we go to the Strongs, it says a scratch or etching. Now remember, to remove the chip in your hand, it said you have to make a small incision. That's a scratch, a small incision to even remove that from you, right? But even to implant it, you also have to um, inject yourself with a syringe, and then they put a syringe in the hand, and then they implant the microchip. Right now, watch this. That is stamp. You're being stamped, right? As what? As a badge of servitude. You're choosing to serve this beast system. Okay? The beast and his image. You're worshiping the beast and his image. You're choosing to receive this etching, this stamp. You're choosing to serve this system, this beast system. Okay? You're receiving it. They're not forcing you, even though you might feel forced, they're not literally forcing you. You're making a conscious decision to take this mark, this microchip, right? Now it says, or sculptured figure, right? We're going to touch on that in a little bit. Sculptured figure. We're going to touch on that in a little bit. Graven or mark. Remember, I talked about the second commandment, not to make any graven images, nor to worship them or bow down to them, right? Our people are out here, and not just our people, but all people are out here begging to receive this mark. They're begging to receive this enhancement of telepathy and whatever else is to come. It's just begun. They got more. They got more and more and more to show you. And as they show you greater wonders and you become more interested in, oh my goodness, I want to be able to do that. Oh my goodness, I'm not gonna age no more. Oh my goodness, I'm not gonna have arthritis. Oh my goodness, my back's not gonna hurt no more. They're gonna give you all these reasons to want to all these pros, right? I don't care if it had 1,000,000 pros and one con, and the one con is, oh shoot, if I take this, I can't enter into the kingdom. Oh shoot, if I take this, I'm gonna be tormented forever and ever. Right? Because that's what it says. The smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever. I'm not making this up. That's thus saith the Lord. That's straight out the scriptures. Okay? That's the con. They could give you 1,000,000 pros, but there's one con. I'm not gonna take it because of those cons. I do not want to be tormented forever and ever. I will not receive these microchips in my brain or in my hand. I want nothing to do with it. I want nothing to do with the beast and his image. I don't want to worship the beast in his image. I want to worship the Most High God only and be created in his image. And that's something we're about to jump into right now. Watch this with the next slide. So, officer, if you could, Babakasha, Revelations 13 and 18.
Book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 18. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666.
So now we're getting the number of the beast. We understand, we're getting some information on what the beast system is. And it tells us, the scripture tells us, it is the number of a man. So I'm like, what's the number of a man? Then it tells you, and his number is 600, threescore and six. For anyone that doesn't know what threescore is, it's 60. A score is 20. So 20 times 3, 60. Okay? 660 and 6, or better known as 666. Okay, that's the number of the beast. That's the number of a man. Now, it got me to thinking, what day was man created? Go ahead, officer. Give me Genesis 1 and 27 and 31, Babakasha.
That's Genesis chapter 1, verse 28.
27.
27, Salakia. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them.
Pause there. God created man in his own image. Okay? He created us in his own image. Now look what's going on. It says that they worship the beast and his image. They want to become a part of the beast system. They don't want to no longer be in the image of the Most High God. They want to be in the image of this beast system. Okay? And that beast system, to keep everything integrated, they're using technology such as microchips in the brain and microchips in the hand, and who knows where else they're gonna proceed with what else they have to bring to the people, right? Who knows what they got behind closed doors? Whatever they're giving to you in the market, it's way behind. They got way advanced things. They're just not ready yet to give it to the masses, right? But these things that they do have, they already have it established, and it's working well, and they feel comfortable to be able to put it out there for a select few, such as the Neuralink, right? I'm sure they have even greater things that they don't show us, but they're showing us human trials right now. And they're like, okay, we got it perfected to a degree. It's good enough to give to a human right now and let them use it and be our guinea pigs and do some trial runs, and we feel comfortable with giving them that, but we're not ready to give them what we've actually really been what we're currently working on. That's still to come, right? So they're gonna get better with this, especially them using AI, and like the video said, they got AI that works that is smarter than the smartest human. So they're only going to keep progressing, right? But see, the Most High God created us, created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them, okay? That's whose image we're supposed to stay in, not transferring over to becoming I don't want to give it away yet, but giving up ourselves and worshiping this beast system. Okay, go ahead. 31, Babakasha, officer.
God. Chapter Salakia. Book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 31. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. In the evening and the morning were the sixth day.
So he made us in his image. He looked at it and said, it is very good. When we're in the Most High God's image, that's a very good thing. But you see the wicked of this world, the people that are not the elect, the people that are not going to inherit the kingdom, they want to be a part of this beast system. They don't want to be made in the image of God. They want to be made in the image of this beast.
God.
Okay? And they want to serve this beast. They're loyal to that beast. And that beast promotes the lust of the flesh. Okay? Now, notice it says that man was created on the sixth day. Okay? So you see here, we have a 6 representing man being created on the sixth day. Remember, it is the number of a man. What's the number of a man? Man was created on the sixth day, right? It all makes sense. It's all very clear. Now let's go to the next one. What else did the Lord give to man? Let's go. Let's read that Ecclesiastes 17 and 5 through 7. Babakasha.
Book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 17 and 5 through 7. They received the use of the 5 operations of the Lord. And in the 6th place, he imparted them understanding. And in the 7th, speech, an interpreter of the cogitations thereof.
Pause there real quick. So he gave man 5 operations, right? And in the 6th operation, in the 6th place, he imparted them understanding. Is that ironic that Revelations 13 and 18 says, here is wisdom. Let him that has understanding count the number of the beast. He created man on the 6th day, and for his 6th operation, he gave him understanding. Okay? There's another 6. And man's 6th operation is understanding. Go ahead, verse 6 and 7.
Verse 6. Counsel and a tongue, and eyes, ears, and a heart gave he them to understand.
Those are the 5 operations that that was being spoken on. 5 operations of the Lord. Counsel, tongue, eyes, ears, heart. Okay? And he gave all these things to help him to understand. Okay? When you use all 5 of those, now you're working out your 6th sense. Your 6th sense of man is understanding. Okay? Verse 7.
Withal, he filled them with the knowledge of understanding and shewed them good and evil.
So now man is able to understand good and evil. You use that 6th sense to understand good and evil. Man made on the 6th day using his 6th sense to understand good and evil. Guess what? I understand that this mark of the beast will cause me to be tormented forever and ever. So I know not to take it. But I also know the good side is if I trust in the Lord and I do all that he asks of me, that I have a chance to make it to the kingdom of heaven. Okay? I understand good and evil. I'm a man made on the 6th day using my 6th sense to understand and rightfully divide the word. Okay? Now watch this. Let's get Exodus 20 and 13.
Book of Exodus chapter 20, verse 13. Thou shalt not kill.
Very clear, very straightforward. And for those, you're like, okay, thou shalt not kill. It really means thou shalt not murder, because we see a lot of killings going on. He commanded David, he commanded Joshua, he commanded a lot of people to go and take over other nations and so forth. So what it means though is you shall not murder. Okay? Don't murder somebody in cold blood. That's what you're not. If you got to defend yourself and someone's coming at you trying to kill you, that's not murder. That's you defending yourself, you defending your family, right? There's a difference. So you shall not murder, right? Now, okay, well, what does that have to do with the number 6? That's actually the 6th commandment of the 10 commandments. Thou shalt not murder. That's the 6th commandment. Now let's put all of this together. Man has understanding on whether to partake in a murderous beast system or not. This is my interpretation through the scriptures, precept upon precept, what the Lord put on me in the spirit to bring forth to the people on what 666 stands for. Okay? Man being created on the 6th day, given the 6th operation of understanding, that they should not partake in a murderous beast system. That's what this system is set up to do. Anyone that doesn't play a part in it is going to be taken out. If they are not going to allow you to buy and sell because you don't take the system, what do they expect to happen to you? They expect you to die. They don't care about you. They don't care if you eat or not. They don't care if you live. That's a murderous beast system. Okay? So, not even just to stop there, then the Lord put it on me to count some things. You might see some little simple addition problems here. You're like, what is that? Right? What's that got to do with anything? Before I even go there, watch this. How many scriptures did I just use to prove 666? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I just used 6 scriptures to prove 666. Now, on top of that, just to add a cherry on top, if you add these numbers, right, we take Genesis 127 and 131, right? 127 plus 131, you get 258. Now we're going to do some simple addition of these 3 numbers, right? 2 plus 5 plus 8, that's going to give you 15, okay? Now, 1 plus 5 equals 6. So when you add these 2 together, you get a 6. Let's see what the rest. 175 plus 176 plus 177, right? Those are the scriptures we have. 175, 176, 177. You get 528. Now you do 5 plus 2 plus 8. That gives you 15 again. 1 plus 5, another 6. Okay? Now let's see with Exodus, right? Exodus 2013. 0 doesn't count as anything, has no numerical value. 213. 213. 2 plus 1 plus 3, another 6. Just to put a cherry on top. 6, 6, 6. You got in these 2 scriptures, man created on the 6th day. In these scriptures, the 6th operation that was given to us by the Lord, being understanding to know good and evil, and the 6th commandment, you shall not kill, you shall not murder. We're just precept upon precept, looking at everything, breaking it down very slow, very fine. The Lord put it on my spirit to even go and notice that. He's like, take a look at that. Did you notice that? I'm like, whoa, that's amazing. That's a beautiful thing. Now that we have 666, right? Does it go even deeper than that? Does it go even deeper? Right here, I got another one. 6 plus 6 plus 6 equals 18. 1 plus 8 equals 9. Okay. The sum. Now, what's the importance of a 9? That's actually my favorite number. The number 9. It's been with me my whole life. I could give tons and tons of reasons why the number 9 is my favorite number. And it's always been with me throughout my whole entire life. Okay. So I know some things on the number 9. It says the sum of the digits of any multiple of 9 other than 0 equals another multiple of 9, and repeated summing of digits eventually leads to 9. What do they mean by that? So if you have 9 times 9, that's going to give you 81. And then when you sum those digits, right? 8 plus 1 it's going to lead to another 9. So anything you multiply by 9, it will become a multiple of 9. And not only a multiple of 9, but when you add those digits, you're going to get a 9. Let's give you another example. 9 times 3 is 27. 27 is a multiple of 9. Now, when you add the 2 digits, 2 plus 7, it gives you another 9. Okay, where are you going with this? All right, let me explain. If you flip 9 upside down, it will become a 6. What do you mean by that? Anything that is multiplied by 9 becomes a multiple of 9, and it also becomes when you add the numbers, it becomes a 9, right? So anything by 9 becomes 9. Whatever, it basically takes over, right? Now, when you flip 9 upside down, it becomes a 6. Now let's explain through the scriptures a command that the Most High God gave us. Now let's get that Genesis 1 and 28, officer.
Book of Genesis chapter 1 verse 28. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and have the Salakia, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth.
So the Lord blessed them, man, right? This is right after they're created, right? Right after they're created. He blessed them and said unto them, be fruitful and multiply. Okay, let that sink in. Be fruitful and multiply. 9, when you multiply it, it becomes another multiple of 9. And when you add the digits, it just becomes a 9. We were created to multiply. But with the number 6, when you flip the 9 upside down and you do the opposite, now you're subtracting, right? You're not increasing. The point of multiplication, you're increasing, right? Like addition. But on the opposite end, if you flip it upside down and it becomes a 6, that's what this B system is doing. It doesn't want you to. Why do you think they have Planned Parenthood? They want to kill us off. They don't want us multiplying. Why do you think homosexuality is so rampant? That's part of this B system, right? If you're a homosexual, how are you going to have children? How are you going to multiply? He told the male and the female to multiply. Not the male and the male, not the female and the female. It doesn't work. But the B system is teaching you that it's okay. That's because the B system doesn't want you to multiply. The B system is the opposite of the Most High God. It's trying to take us out. It's here to kill us. It's here to take us down with it. It's doing whatever it can to deceive you. Okay? Now, I'm going to let the video touch on something that's very, very powerful. And remember, it talks about the number of the beast, right? Let's look. We just seen it 666, right? We've been talking about Neuralink and these microchips. Watch this.
End of the world as we know it,
and shout out to I think his channel is called Got a Minute. So shout out to him for even coming across this, because that, man, it's a good discovery. Do your research on it too, but when I seen it, I'm like, man, you got to understand that, especially in Paleo Hebrew, the Paleo Hebrew, they have each character has a numerical value attached to it. And so he does a great point, but he goes into the Greek, but still, he's got a great point. Watch.
I feel fine. Let's get out of here.
Hello, everybody. It's Aaron from Got a Minute. On this channel, we are focused on Jesus, the Bible, the rapture, the second coming. We do music. We do.
Now, I'm not saying listen to everything that he's saying. We're just bringing this out The rapture is not even stated in the scriptures. That if you type it in the Bible, rapture is not going to pop up. What we're focusing on here is his breakdown on these numerical values.
Do comedy, but once in a while we got to pause and do some conspiracy stuff, put our tinfoil hats on and make everybody aware. I don't talk about these things too much because it can get you into trouble, but I'm going to keep it light. The Old Testament is written in Hebrew. The New Testament is written in Greek. Hebrew letters have values to them. Greek letters have values to them as well. English was derived from these languages. So we're going to look at this word Neuralink and understand that it came from the Greek and how interesting this is and what it ends up equaling. So the black is the Greek Neuralink. The colorful version down below is the English version, Neuralink. And so I believe that Neuralink came from the Greek word Neuralink, and here's why. This N is the Greek word new. It's got a value of 50, and it's got an N sound. I did it in blue because that's what it actually sounds like. This is epsilon. It's got a value of 5, and it sounds like it looks, like you would understand it, like an E. This is upsilon, and it's got a value of 400, and sounds like a U sound. This is rho. It's got a value of 100, and it actually has an R sound. This is an alpha. It's got a value of 1. It's got an A sound. This is a lambda. It's got a value of 30, and it's got an L sound. This is an iota. It's got a value of 10, and it's got an I sound. This is a nu. It's got a value of 50, and it's got an N sound. This is actually the lowercase version of that. And then we've got a kappa. It's got a value of 20, and that's got a K sound. So when you just read the black, it says Neuralink. There's no translation. It sounds exactly what you would expect it to sound like. Neuralink. And here's that if you want a screenshot of some of these letters. And here's that with the values of the Greek letters.
So you guys could pause that and take a look at those and just verify that all those things are there. He's putting it out in plain sight. Now let's see what happens.
And so what we're going to do now is we're going to add this up together and see what Neuralink ends up equaling. What does Neuralink end up equaling? Well, we have 50 plus 5 plus 400 plus 100 plus 1 plus 30 plus 10 plus 50 plus 20.
Officer, before he puts it, can you guess what it's going to be?
I know what it's going to be. That's
Equals.
Wow.
666.
Hey.
Neuralink adds up.
Hey.
It's crazy.
Hey. You can't make this stuff up, man.
Mic drop.
That's insane.
Yeah,
so remember, we were talking about the number of the beast, right? It's also the number of man. Now, Neuralink, remember, they're putting it in the mind. They're putting it in your brain. They're literally etching it with a machine into your mind. You're becoming one with the iron. And I'm going to explain on that coming up soon, what that even means. Okay? Still got quite a bit. That's it for this guy. I'm done with this guy. He goes into NASA being in the Hebrew, I think it's the Paleo Hebrew, I want to say. It says Nasha, and it means deceiver. So if you want to keep watching that video, on your own time, it's a good thing to see, because we know even NASA on their logo, they got the serpent tongue on it. So we know that they're deceivers, straight up. Let's go, officer. Can you read me? Now remember, our people are taking this mark, receiving this mark, worshiping this beast. There's nothing new under the sun. Let's get some example of our in some accounts in the Bible where this was happening as well. Let's go to 1 Maccabees 1:10 through 15. Babakasha.
Book of 1 Maccabees chapter 1, verse 10 through 15. And there came out of them a wicked root Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes,
Epiphany,
Epiphanes,
Epiphanies? I think that's how you say it.
son of Antiochus the king, who had been a hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137 year of the kingdom of the Greeks.
Right. So we're dealing with the kingdom of the Grecians, okay? The Greeks. That's what time period we're in the time of the Greeks. Go ahead.
In those days went there out of Israel wicked men, who preserved many.
Wait, Salakia. Persuaded.
Oh, Salakia. Who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
Pause there. This wasn't righteous Israelites. This was wicked Israelites, okay? There went out of them, is out of Israel, wicked men. And what did they do? They persuaded many. What do you think they're gonna do when this uh they're already doing it now for you to be in the world, be like them, right? Commit the lusts of your own flesh, pleasures of your flesh, right? Commit lusts, right? Do whatever you want, do what thou wilt. They're already teaching you, they're already prepping you. So when it comes, it's gonna be easy for you to go ahead and make a covenant with the heathen. The heathens are taking this taking this mark. That's what's happening. The heathens are taking this mark in their hand and in their forehead. And they're gonna persuade you that you should take it. They are gonna persuade and you're gonna have to be rooted in Hamashiach, which is Jesus Christ. You're gonna have to be rooted in Christ to be able to understand, and in this word, which is Christ as well, to understand that you cannot be deceived and fall for this. You cannot. Your soul is on the line. You have to be prepared. You have to be ready. You have to understand that you want no part or dealings with this system, this beast system. Okay?
Gone.
Go ahead, verse 12.
Verse 12. So this device pleased them well.
Pause there. Isn't it so ironic? Did you notice the word that they just used right there?
This device.
What are they implanting? And I understand device has several different meanings, but I just found it so ironic that they said this device pleased them well. This device, it's gonna please people well to put this device, this microchip in their brain and in their hand so that it can be very convenient for them to be a part of this beast system, for them to go and scan their hand, for them to go and start their car up, for them to be able to communicate with each other through their brain, for them to no longer have back pains and be able to walk and all these crazy things. That device is going to please them well. It's nothing new under the sun. It's nothing that hasn't happened before. Go ahead, verse 13.
Verse 13. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen.
Pause there. There was certain Israelites that they just wanted to serve. They were begging to serve this beast system so much. They wanted to be a part of it so bad that they went to the king. Antiochus, remember, he's of a wicked root. This isn't a righteous ruler. This is a wicked man. And wicked Israelites are going to this wicked man and saying, hey, we want to be like you. And he gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. He gave them permission to be like them. Just like, look, there's people on a wait list right now, on a wait list to receive this chip in their brain. We just seen Neuralink broke down in a numerical value to 666. There are people on a wait list right now begging to receive that chip in their brain. Nothing new under the sun. And he's going to give them permission, right? Elon Musk's got to give them permission to receive it. He can also he can also deny them permission to receive it, right? Now, see here, again, these begging, wicked Israelites want to be a part of this. These unbelieving, begging Israelites want to be a part of this system. Go ahead, verse 14 and 15, Babakasha.
God, verse 14 and 15. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen, and made themselves uncircumcised, and forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief.
Wow. Wow. You see, there are people keeping the customs, the traditions of the heathen. It's going to become a tradition for you to take the mark of the beast. It's going to become a tradition. And to make yourself uncircumcised. If you're uncircumcised, you cannot partake in the Passover. If you cannot partake in the Passover, the blood of Christ does not cover you. Straight up. And if the blood of Christ does not cover you, you are unrighteous. And we know in 1 Corinthians 6 and 9, there shall not be any unrighteous thing that inherits the kingdom of God. So you just made yourself not available to make it into the kingdom of God. You just set yourself aside by the decisions that you made. You forsook the holy covenant. Remember, that covenant was made with blood. That covenant was made with blood with the Israelites. Moses sprinkled the blood upon the people and upon the book. Okay? Upon the tablets. But you forsook it and joined yourselves to the heathen, and you were sold to do mischief. You were sold to do mischief. And that's what's going to happen. This beast system is allowing you to go, oh, you don't even have to work no more. You can go and do whatever it is you want, and we're going to pay you because you sold out. You sold out. You were sold to do mischief. Look at how all that ties in together. Man, this Bible, the scriptures, the word never ceases to amaze me.
God.
It gets deep, real deep. That's why we got to pray for understanding, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, so we can understand how to rightfully divide the word and warn our people. Go ahead, officer. Exodus, let's get another account. Exodus 14.
Exodus 14 and 10. And when Pharaoh drew nigh, the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them, and they were sore afraid. And the children of Israel cried out unto the Lord.
Pause there. This is going to happen in our times as well. The Egyptians, right? Just change that with the Americans are going to march after you, right? Pharaoh, whoever's in the ruler at the time, is going to come after the children of Israel. And there's going to be some Israelites. There's going to be a great falling away. It says, and they were sore afraid. And the children of Israel cried out unto the Lord. And what did they tell the Lord? Did they tell him, we believe in you and we're going to serve you, and we don't care that these people are coming to kill us. We're going to serve you and trust in you. What did they say, officer?
And the children of Israel, and Salakia, 14:11, and they said unto Moses, because there were no graves in Egypt, hast thou taken us away to die in the wilderness? Wherefore hast thou dealt thus with us, to carry us forth out of Egypt?
Why did you bring us out here? Why did you bring us out here to die? Right? This is what they're crying out. Why? Why did you do this? I'm not going out into the wilderness. I'd just rather take the mark of the beast. I'd rather sell out to the system. What else did they say? Go ahead, verse 12.
God. Verse 12. Is not this the word that we did tell thee in Egypt, saying, let us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians? For it had been better for us to serve the Egyptians than that we should die in the wilderness.
Our people want to serve this system. They want to receive this mark. They want to. Remember, we talked about it was a stamp, a badge of servitude. They're literally saying, leave me alone. I want to be a part of this system. This is our forefathers right here telling us we would rather serve the Egyptians. I don't want to. They're saying, I don't want to serve the Most High God. That's too hard. I want to take the easy way out, and I want to be a part of this system that provides for me. Because I don't believe, I'm an unbelieving, begging Israelite that doesn't believe that the Lord will provide for me. It would be better for us to serve the Egyptians than that we should die in the wilderness. It would be better. Look, this is the mindset that they have. It would be better for us to take the mark of the beast so I can provide for my family, I can pay my bills, I can be okay, than for me to go and go against the grain and not take the mark, and now I had to suffer persecution and die. Nothing new under the sun. Go ahead, verse 13.
13. And Moses said unto the people, fear ye not, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will shew to you today. For the Egyptians whom ye have seen today, ye shall see them again no more forever.
That's what we have to do as watchmen. We have to tell our people, don't be fearful. You cannot fear man. You have to have the fear of the Lord. Stand still, don't make no irrational decisions, and you're going to see the salvation of the Lord. You're going to see him deliver you from your enemies. You're not going to see these Egyptians no more, ever again. These American, all these people, all the wicked of the earth, you're not going to see them no more because you're going to be in the kingdom. You're going to be at peace. You're not going to have them come. You're not going to have to watch over your shoulder no more if someone's coming to kill you because you didn't take the mark. Verse 14.
14. The Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace.
On. The Lord is going to fight for us, but you have to believe that he's going to.
God.
And you need to hold your peace. This word of God gives me peace. It lets me know that if I suffer through all these things, I have a reward waiting for me. But I have to go through it. I have to. It's commanded that we have to. It's prophecy that we have to. Okay? But you got to hold your peace. You can't make irrational moves. You can't sell yourself out to the system. Go ahead, officer. Let's look at the bright side. Let's get a bright side. Let's get an account of one of our forefathers, mighty Mattathias, First Maccabees.
First Maccabees 2:27. And Mattathias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, whosoever is zealous of the law and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me.
That's who we're looking for right now. We're looking for people that are zealous of the law and that want to maintain the covenant. Those are the people we want following us into the wilderness. Not somebody that's going to stab us in the back. Not somebody that's going to sell out last minute. Go ahead.
So he and his sons fled into the mountains and left all that ever they had in the city.
Are you ready to do that? Are you ready to drop everything? If you got a mansion and a Lambo and a Bugatti and all them fancy things, are you willing to drop everything you had like our forefathers did and leave everything you had and flee into the wilderness? Are you able to do that? Ask yourself that. Are you able and ready to do that? Go ahead. 29.
Then many that sought after justice and judgment went down into the wilderness to dwell there.
I was there. You see how Mattathias was a leader? He was a leader. He set the example. The others watched and observed, and many that sought after justice and judgment went down into the wilderness. They seen that example. Hamashiach is our example. Christ is our example, right? Also our forefathers. We're seeing what they had to do. We're studying, researching, and seeing these accounts and saying and understanding that this is going to be us in the near future. We're going to have to be ready and willing to do this. And we're an example. We are setting, as leaders, setting the example for the people around us. And we're hoping that they come. Okay? Verse 30.
Verse 30. Both they and their children and their wives and their cattle, because afflictions increased, sore upon them.
Read that last part one more time.
Because afflictions increased, sore upon them.
Guess what? When you don't take that mark, when you don't sell out, these afflictions are going to increase, sore upon you. There's no way around it. Afflictions are going to increase, sore upon you when you don't take that mark. Straight up. So you got to be ready and willing to give it all up. Life as you know it, you got to be willing to give it up and head out to wherever it's safe. The Most High tuck you under his wing. We're going to go over that at the very end to leave it on a positive note. Let's go to the next slide. Con. We got Daniel. We're going to get into some prophecy right now. Daniel chapter 2, 31 to 45. Bakasha.
Daniel 2, 31 through 45. Thou, O king, sawest, and behold, a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible.
King Nebuchadnezzar is seeing a great image, and the form thereof was terrible. This was the image that he was looking at. Okay? This is the statue. Remember, we talked about this when we looked at Charagma, a sculpted figure. Okay? A sculpted figure. A terrible image. Remember, they're taking the image of the beast. Okay? It all ties in together. Okay? Go ahead, 32.
32. This image's head was of fine gold. His beast, like his breasts and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay.
So we see here, these were all different captivities that the Israelites went into, okay? Head of gold, the Babylonian captivity, chest and arms of silver, the Persian captivity, belly and thighs of bronze, the Grecian captivity, legs of iron, the Roman captivity, and then we have the feet of iron and clay, which is our present time now. Rome is still in power, but there's also other powers that branched out of Rome, okay? There's other rulers in the world right now as well, other than just Rome itself, but all ties lead back to Rome or the Romans. So let's get 34.
34. Thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay, and break them to pieces.
That's talking about Jesus Christ, Yahushua HaMashiach, coming back and smiting the image. Now, look at the image, right? Like the image of the beast, smiting it upon his feet that were of iron and clay. He's smashing the feet. If you knock the feet out, if you take the feet out from under someone, what happens?
Whole thing comes down.
It all falls down, right? All right, 35.
35. Then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together, and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors, and the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth.
Stone that smote the image became a great mountain. That means a great power. That's when the kingdom of God comes back. That's what that's talking about. And it's going to fill the whole entire earth. Call halal. Verse 36.
36. This is the dream, and we will tell the interpretation thereof before the king. Thou, O king, art a king of kings.
Pause there. You, O king, are a king of kings. Whose title also was that given to?
Mashiach.
A Mashiach. He's the king of kings. So for a time, you see how the Lord set this person up? Set this person up to be king. A wicked man still set him up to be king of kings. Right? Look, he's a king, and his power, that's why he had the head of gold, was above all. And now everything else just started getting worse, waxing worse over time. Right? But him, he's the king of kings right now. Okay? Go ahead. For the God.
God. For the God of heaven hath given thee a kingdom, power, and strength and glory. And wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowls of the heaven hath he given into thine hand, and hath made the ruler over them all, made thee ruler over them all. Thou art this head of gold.
So notice it says, the God of heaven has given you a kingdom. He didn't take it for himself. God gave Nebuchadnezzar his kingdom, his power, his strength, his glory, and he let him rule over the children of men. Right? And he says, you are this head of gold right here. Okay? That's where we're starting from. Go ahead, verse 39.
Verse 39. And after thee shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee, and another third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth.
So an inferior kingdom, that was going to be the Persians. Then another third kingdom of brass, and that's going to be the Grecian captivity, right? The Greeks. Remember, Alexander the Greek, he was in rule. He had everyone under his dominion. And then he died and he split his kingdom, right? We see that in First Maccabees. Okay? Go ahead, verse 40.
And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron. For as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as let me get a little closer. And as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise.
Keep going.
And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it out of the strength of the out of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay.
Miry
clay.
Pause there. So Rome, right? That's what the the iron is talking about, right? Iron breaks in pieces, subdues all things. Rome subdued all things, right? But then he says, where you saw the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron. Okay, we have the feet, it's part iron, part clay. The kingdom is divided. Rome got divided. Okay, but There still shall be the strength of the iron. There's still going to be strength of Rome in there. That's why I say everything ties back to the Romans. Okay, they still have strength on earth today. It's just divided now. Okay, and he says, "For as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay," they have to share their rulership with other powers as well today. Okay, they're not as strong as they used to be. But I'm going to touch on this as a twofold thing coming up very soon. Okay. Right now, we're dealing strictly with powers in the earth. Okay. 42.
42. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken.
So you're going to have your elites and you're gonna have your poor. Okay, that's why it says part of iron, part of clay. Iron strong, clay is not. So the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. You're gonna have your elites. Remember, those that take this mark, it's coming for the rich and the poor, the great and the small. Okay? That's what it's talking about right here. So the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. There's going to be elites, there's going to be kings of the earth, and there's also going to be some weak folk, some poor folk, the common folk. Okay? Verse 43.
43. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the what is it? Salakia.
The men.
With the seed of men. It was just a little cut off, Salaki. But they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay.
So notice it says the iron is going to be mixed with miry clay, and they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. These rulers, these elite, they're going to mix themselves amongst the common folk, but they shall not cleave one to another. That's why you hear about these bloodlines, right? And these bloodlines are in power. They're going to mix their seed with men, hey, but it's not going to mix. Iron does not mix with clay, okay? These powers, they're not going to mix together. These other nations, right? These other powers, they can't come together. Why do you think we're constantly at war? Why do you think we're constantly at war? They can't come together. There's always a problem. No matter how much they try and come together, and they're going to use this beast system to try and come together, there's always an issue. There's always a problem. Okay? Let's go to 44.
44. And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever.
Right. So, like I was saying, just to prove the point on the iron being the elite, and in the days of these kings, okay, that's the iron. There's many different powers on the earth right now. They're considered the kings, right? They're separated from the common folk. They still mingle with the seed of men, but they're separated. They're on a whole different level. They can make major moves, right? So it says, in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom, right? Which shall never be destroyed. They're going to try and destroy our kingdom, but they can't. It says that this kingdom that the Most High God sets up, it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. These other kingdoms have no chance, and they know that. And that's why they're working on creating whatever possible weapon that they can to try. They know prophecy. They know these prophecies. And they're trying to stop the Most High God from coming back, and Christ coming back and destroying them. They know that is a threat. Go ahead, verse 45.
Slakia. Verse 45. For as much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and wow, Slakia.
And that it break.
Con, yeah, Salakia. It was a little cut on the side, so
Oh, Con.
I'm gonna get closer to the screen, Salakia. And that it break in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold. The great God hath made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter. And the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof sure.
He said it's sure to pass that
God.
Christ is coming back to destroy all of this. This beast system's been going on for a long time, and it's gotten weaker and weaker and weaker. And now we're here to the feet of iron and clay, and it's ready to crumble. When Christ comes back, it's gonna crumble. Okay? Now watch this. And then he's gonna establish his kingdom that's gonna last forever and ever, right? But again, we understand that it's the powers, it's the kings of this earth, but let's look at it from another perspective as well, because it could be twofold. Okay? Let's read Daniel 2 and 41.
Daniel 2 and 41. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with the miry clay.
Iron mixing with miry clay. Okay? Potter's clay and iron. Okay? Let's put 2 and 2 together. All right? Genesis 2 and 7.
Look at Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground, then breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul.
The Most High God made man from the dust of the ground. Okay? From the ground. What comes from the ground? Clay.
Clay.
Watch
God.
this. Watch this. There ain't no running from this. Isaiah 64 and 8. This gonna hit the nail on the head.
There's 64 and 8. But now, O Lord, thou art over
Thou art our
Father. Yes, Salakia for the words.
yeah, it's like it's just the probably the font that I used. Lucky.
Salakia. We are the clay, and thou art potter, and we all are the work of thy hand.
That's fire right there. We are the clay.
God.
So when we're looking at this, it says part of potter's clay and part of iron. We are the clay. So now put ourselves in this situation as people, right? And he is our potter. He created us. But now, okay, we understand we are the people. What does the iron have to do? You saw us the iron mixed with miry clay. You seen people mixed with iron. Iron is what? A metal. Okay? Let's go to Romans 9 and 21.
Book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 21. Hath not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor?
Khan, the potter, right, is the Most High God. And he has power over the clay, which is us, the people, right? Man, of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor. So those that serve him and don't take the mark of the beast, that's going to be an honorable vessel. We understand we want to keep the image that he created us in, but then there's going to be other dishonorable vessels that don't want to be in the image of the Most High God. They want to be in the image of the beast. So now he has one that he's going to honor and another that he's going to dishonor. And the dishonorable ones are not going to be making it to the kingdom of heaven. Okay? Now watch this. Watch how all of this just ties in together so well. Read Claystone, Babakasha.
Con. Claystone is a fine-grained, dark gray to pink sedimentary rock, which mainly consists of compacted and hardened clay.
Okay. Just giving you some information. Claystone is clay, right? All right, where are you going with this? Go ahead, quartzite.
Con. Quartzite is a non-foliated metamorphic rock that forms by the metamorphism of pure quartz sandstone.
So we see quartzite, we see clay is a rock. Quartzite is a rock, all formed from the dust of the ground, right? Go ahead. So go ahead to silicon.
Silicon is generally produced by the carbothermic reduction of quartzite rocks in a submerged arc furnace, SAF, and is the main source of silicon for different industries. 90% of all metal that is refined today is iron.
So silicon, right? It's made through carbothermic reduction of quartzite rocks, okay? Rocks. Going back to clay is a rock, okay? Now, what is the point of silicon? Okay? What's the point of, well, silicon, again, derives from rock, clay, right? The potter's clay. Now we see that 90% of all metal is refined from iron. Okay? Iron is a metal. So we see we have clay and iron, rock and iron, rock and metal. Okay, where are you going with this? Where are you going with this? Go ahead, read the last part.
Mike Con, the silicon Salakia. I read the 90% of all metal, correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
The silicon wafers or platforms that serve as the foundation of microchips are composed of silicon, while the metal wires used to connect the sections of circuitry are made of aluminum and copper.
Okay. These microchips that you're implanting into your brain and into your hand, they are composed of silicon. We just seen that silicon is composed of rock, quartzite rocks, right? It's composed of a rock. So now you have the potter's clay, right, in a microchip, and you have metal wires used to connect the sections of circuitry, and those metal wires are made out of aluminum and copper, and also right here you see I have a little diagram, bonded gold wire, lead frame. Gold is a metal, lead is a metal. You have pins of tin plated or tin dipped or alloy, all metals. So now you have the clay and the iron coming together in this chip. And so now you're taking this chip and you're putting it into a man. And a man is already, as we can see, we are the clay. You're taking a metal, you're taking the iron, and you're mixing it with clay. Thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. What does that create? Go ahead, officer, read that for me. Bakasha, what is a cyborg?
Iron mixed with miry clay.
Khan, right on point. But if you could read it.
Oh, Salakia.
No worries. No, you're on point. No, you're on point. That's
Yeah, I
literally
see it right here, cyborg. A term blending the words cybernetic an organism, originally proposed in 1960 to describe a human being whose physiological functions are aided or enhanced by artificial means, such as biomechanical or
Biochemical.
biochemical or electronic modifications to the body.
So when you put that Neuralink in your brain, you become a what?
Cyborg.
You become oh my goodness, you become a cyborg. You literally become
And they can
that's
do whatever they
nuts.
want.
That's crazy. It's madness. That's literally the definition of a cyborg, right? They took cybernetic and organism, cyborg. You're taking biochemical or electronic modifications and putting it into a human to help increase his physiological functions. That's why they're showing people that were paralyzed able to walk again. They're
Yep.
showing
And they
people
advertise it.
and they advertise it. And
Mhm.
and they're showing great miracles. Oh my goodness, it's a miracle, right? This is part of the deceiver's agenda. Okay. You got wires plugged into the mind, right? That's that so that they can speak through AI. Notice it says or enhanced by artificial means. Artificial intelligence is taking over.
Con.
Right? Now, um, I grew up on a show called Teen Titans. Okay. Look at this brother. That's Jake right there. That is Jake right there, right? What's wrong with Jake? What is wrong? Look,
He's a cyborg.
he's a cyborg. They put this in plain sight. They could have chose a white man. They could chose a Asian man. No, they chose a dark-skinned brother to be named Cyborg. And not only that, they gave him a Mexican name. Read it for me, Babakasha, if you can. If not, I can read it. Cyborg.
Slakia. Yeah, no, I can see it. I just get a little close. Cyborg's real name is Victor Stone.
Pause there.
Con.
Cyborg's real name is Victor. That's a Mexican, right? It's like they just telling you, like, yeah, he's a brother, but we named him Victor so that you know it's Judah and Ephraim in there. And not only that, it says his real name is Victor Stone. Stone is what? A rock. Stone is a rock. And the rock goes back to the clay. They're literally letting you know that they altered man and made him into a cyborg. They're putting it out there in the open for us. We just have to use these have eyes to see what they're putting out to us. They know what they're doing.
And they try to make it cool.
They try and make it be like, oh, I want to be like Cyberberg. I want to pull out that cannon and blast people, or blast things or whatever, or be super smart or whatever it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now keep reading on that. Watch this. He is the son.
He is the son of Silas Stone and Eleanor Stone, scientists who use him as a test subject for various intellectual enhancement, various intelligence enhancement projects.
On his own parents. Now, from what I read, it wasn't both. Um, from what I read was Cyborg actually, or Victor Stone, when he was a child, he got in a bad explosion and his mom died and he was, all tore up, basically gonna die. And his dad, Silas Stone, was a scientist and performed operations on him. And while he was there, he didn't only just heal him, he literally turned his son into a test subject and gave him enhancements, right? Right? And that's why you see him the way he is. He's got all this artificial intelligence all over his body. He's actually literally more robot than he is man, right? And so let's go. While these treatments
While these treatments are ultimately successful, and Victor's
IQ.
subsequently grows to genius. Salakia, the
Okay,
Zoom
I'll read
Zoom
it
has
out.
the Zoom has it cut off at the bottom on my
No
end.
worries, brother. So it says, and Victor's IQ subsequently grows to genius levels. He grows to resent his treatment, right? So he became super smart, right? And that's the promise of this Neuralink, right? And the microchips and all of that. The promise is to give you super abilities, right? Super abilities that you couldn't normally have if you didn't have that chip in you, right? But look, it says he grows to resent his treatment. These people, when they take it, they're gonna grow to resent the operations that they perform, right? They're gonna grow to be like, man, I messed up. But there's also gonna be those people that it says in the scriptures, they're not gonna turn away from their wicked ways. They're not gonna acknowledge the Most High. They're not gonna acknowledge that they are in error and that they're wicked. They're not going to turn away from nothing. They're just going to continue on in their wickedness. Okay. But it's crazy. Just like when you see these people doing these sex changes, right? What happens? They grow to resent the treatment that they had. And then what's their next option? Suicide. They're committing suicide. That's just what it is. That's what happens when you play with this beast system and you become a part of it. It's built to destroy you.
Eats you up.
It eats you up.
It's a literal beast.
Gone. Let's go to the next one. And this is our last slide. Let's go to Revelations 19, Babakasha.
Book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 19. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army.
John saw the beast system and how it was implemented throughout all the kings of the earth. And not only that, they implemented it to their armies as well. And not only that, they gathered together to make war against the Savior, against Hamashiach. I told you they're prepared. They know what's coming. They're arming themselves. They're trying to make cyborg people so that they can do whatever they possibly can to destroy. They're trying to destroy the Most High God and His Son. That's what they're trying to do. But it can't happen. Go ahead, verse 20.
Verse 20. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire, burning with brimstone.
Pause there. So Christ is going to take the beast system and with him the false prophet. There's false prophets out here doing miracles. Wouldn't you call that a miracle, officer? If you put a chip in your brain and then all of a sudden you're walking again? Yes, just a minute ago you weren't able to move and now you're standing up running around. That right? They're doing miracles. But it says with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast. The people that are implanting these chips and microchips into themselves, they're deceived. And they're going to promote it as a beautiful thing. They're going to promote it as you have to have it. And not only that, that's why I was saying they're pushing fear with it too. They're getting you into the corner and they're making it to make it seem like you have no other option, but you do. But they're making it to where you feel like I literally have no other option. I got to take it. No, there is an option. You can choose not to worship his image. You can choose to not receive the mark. Notice it says, and them that worship his image. Okay. You have a choice to worship it or not, to bow down to it or not. Okay. And because if you do, you're going to be cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. Thus saith the Lord. Okay, verse 21. What's going to happen to the rest?
Verse 21. And the remnant were slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, which sword proceeded out of his mouth, and all the fowls were filled with their flesh.
So you're going to get sliced down by the sword that comes out of Christ's mouth, and all the fowls of the earth are going to come and eat on your flesh. Okay? That's a terrifying thing. I don't want to be one of those. I want to be the one that's in his army, in the Most High God's army, in Christ's army. That's where I want to be at. Fighting against these evildoers. Because while I'm here, they're trying to destroy me. They're trying to kill me. And not just me, but all the righteous that want to serve the Most High God. Okay? And I don't want to serve this beast system. Go ahead. Revelations 20:4.
Rev 20:4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua, and for the word of God, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived with Salaki, and they lived and reigned with a Christ 1,000 years.
So do you see what happens now? If you don't join this beast system, you're gonna
with Christ.
You're gonna have to die for your Savior, just like He died for you. It says, "I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua and for the word of God." The word of God tells me I cannot take this mark. I cannot worship this beast. I cannot worship his image. I cannot receive this mark in my forehead or in my hand. I have to leave it alone. And I gotta warn the people not to take it as well. Okay? That's what we're up here doing right now. Warning our people.
God.
Okay? Matthew 10 and 21 and 22 about the Shah.
Matthew 10 and 21 through 22. And the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death.
Right. You might have a family member and they're like, "Oh, you're not gonna take the mark, and you're gonna go and try and flee," and they're gonna go and tell on you and be like, "He won't take the mark." Guess what? Like the children of Israel seen the Egyptians marching after us. Yeah, you're gonna see people coming for you. You're gonna see people coming for you to take you out. And guess who's gonna be delivering you up? Your brother, the father to the child. The children shall rise up against you. Your child might be like, "Oh, Dad, I want to be a part of this beast system. I don't want to go out in the wilderness." And I'm gonna tell them where you're at too, because you told me where you're going. You're causing your parents to be put to death. What's wrong with you? These things are prophesied to happen. Go ahead, verse 22.
Verse 22. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end shall be saved.
All right. All the people that is a part of this beast system, they're gonna hate you for Christ's sake. Okay? But if you endure to the end, you will be saved. Okay?
God.
That's a tough thing to do. You got to endure it. It's like running 10 miles. That's not easy. You're going to be huffing and puffing and get tired, but you got to work through it. You got to work out your own salvation with fear and trembling every single day. Okay? Let's close it out on a good note. Psalms chapter 17, and it's the whole chapter.
Psalms chapter 17, verse 1 through 15. And a prayer of David. Hear the right, O Lord, attend unto my cry. Give ear unto my prayer that goeth not out of fiend lips. Let my sentence come forth from thy presence. Let thine eyes behold the things that are equal, Thou hast proved mine heart. Thou hast visited me in the night. Thou hast tried me and shalt find nothing. I am purposed that my mouth shall not transgress.
Right. So the Most High is trying us, and he should find nothing. He should find that we want nothing to do with this system. Okay? I am purposed that I will not transgress. My mouth will not transgress. I will never confess that I want to be a part of this system. Okay? Watch this. Verse 4.
Verse 4. Concerning the works of men, by the word of thy lips, I have kept me from the paths of the destroyer.
Pause there. Concerning the works of men. This system, this beast system, is the works of men. These microchips is the works of men. You worshiping the beast and the image is the works of men. But by the word of thy lips, out the scriptures that you give me, I have kept me from the paths of the destroyer. If you don't have these scriptures, you're gonna get into the path of the destroyer. This system is set up to destroy you. But if we have the word of God, it's gonna lead us to everlasting life. Okay? Verse 5.
Verse 5. Hold up my goings in thy paths, that my footsteps slip not. I have called upon thee, for thou wilt hear me, O God. Incline thine ear unto me, and hear my speech. Shew thy marvelous loving kindness, O thou that savest by the right hand them which put their trust in thee, from those that rise up against them.
Pause there. Show your marvelous loving kindness to us in these last days. We pray that you save us by your right hand because we put our trust in you, and we're hoping and praying, and we know because your word tells us that you will do so, that you save us from those that rise up against us. Okay? Those that are rising up against us are those that want to be a part of this system. Like you said, like it says in Matthew 10 and 22. You shall be hated of all men. Those are people rising up against us because we want to serve the Most High God. We want to remain blameless and righteous. Okay? Verse 8.
Gone. Verse 8. Keep me as the apple of thy eye. Hide me under the shadow of thy wings.
Keep going.
From the wicked that oppress me, from my deadly enemies who
One more
compass
time.
me about.
One more time.
From the wicked that oppress me, from my deadly enemies who compass me about.
That's what we need protection from the wicked that oppress us. They're oppressing us because if we don't take this mark, we can't be a part of their system. And they're deadly enemies. There are deadly enemies who compass me about. They're everywhere. The wicked is gonna outweigh the righteous in just greatly. They're gonna outweigh the righteous greatly. There's gonna be a remnant that shall be saved. That's a small portion. So guess what? The wicked are gonna be everywhere. Go ahead, verse 10.
Verse 10. They are enclosed in their own fat. With their mouth they speak proudly.
They're gonna receive. Remember, we started this out with UBI. They're gonna receive, and even Elon saying, "Yeah, you're gonna get the universal high income." They're enclosed in their own fat. They're paying people to not have to work, but guess what? You got to sell out to the system. With their mouth, they speak proudly. It's a proud thing. Go ahead.
They have now compassed. They have now compassed us in our steps. They have set their eyes bowing down to the earth. Like as a lion that is greedy of his prey, and as it were a young lion lurking in secret places.
Pause there. They set their eyes bowing down to the earth. They're looking down on us for serving the Most High God and not serving them, not serving their system that they created. Okay? And like a lion that is greedy of his prey. They want to take us out. They want to take us out. Like Antiochus, anyone that doesn't follow my commandments, my laws, he shall die. That's how this system's coming. That's greedy. They can't just leave us alone. They got to come after us and hunt us. That's why it says, as it were a young lion lurking in secret places. They're hiding in secret places, coming up with plans to destroy us. And not only us, but try and fight against the Most High God. Go ahead, verse 13.
Verse 13. Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword, from men which are thy hand, O Lord, from men of the world, which have their portion in this life, and whose belly thou fillest with my hid treasure. They are full of children, and leave the rest of their substance to their babes.
Pause there. Disappoint them, Lord. Cast them down. Deliver our souls from the wicked. The wicked is your sword. From men which are thy hand. He uses them to chastise us, to oppress us, right? To destroy us. He uses them. From the men of the world. Take us away from the men of the world, which have their portion in this life. When they take that mark, that's their portion in this life. They're going to be able to receive all the benefits that they receive, but that's it. That portion is in this life. And after, we already read what's coming from. Fire and brimstone, lake of fire, whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasure, right? He's still letting them prosper in this thing. They are full of children. He's allowing them to have children still and leave the rest of their substance to their babes. That's what we've seen going on today. We see the people that oppressed us and ruled over us, their children are well off because of the situation that they put us in. Why do you think our people are in the ghettos? Why do you think our people are poor? They put us in those positions for a reason. But their children, hey, they're well off, right? And it's going to be the same for these people taking this beast system. Okay, yeah, you sell out, you're going to be good in our system. We're going to take care of you. But remember, there's swords drawn behind their backs. Even though you're a part of their system, they still don't want you there. They'll allow you to be there because you sold out. But remember, they have a depopulation agenda. Okay? The less they have here, the better. They just want the elite. They just want the elite here. That's it. The top of the crop. That's it. Right? Now watch this last scripture to end it off. Watch this. Verse
Psalm
15.
17 and 15. As for me, I will behold thy face in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I awake with thy likeness.
With thy what?
Likeness.
Ooh. As for me, Captain Yasan, as for Officer Dawada, hey, we're going to behold his face in righteousness. We're going to look at the Lord and see, right? We're going to look at his words and see, thou shalt not, and we're going to follow that. Or thou shalt, and we're going to follow that. We're looking at it. We're looking at his face. We're studying. We're researching. We're praying, fasting, all these things. And when we do these things, we're going to be satisfied. And when I awake with thy likeness, remember, we were created in the image of the Most High God. We want to be in his likeness. Not like this beast system, not like the world. We want to be like Christ. That's what we strive for every single day. Call Allah. Hallelujah. And with that, family, that's it. That's the UBI. That's what's coming for the unbelieving, begging Israelites. But we also seen the other side for those that stand firm for the Lord and are ready to be martyrs of Yahushua HaMashiach. It's gonna be some trying times. We're gonna be tried through the fire, but you gotta stand firm. You gotta stand firm upon the rock, which is Hamashiach, and study, pray, fast, get with a congregation, build each other up, love each other, grow together, because you're gonna need family when all this hits the fan. When all this goes down, you need family, and you, of course, first and foremost, you're gonna have to rely on the Lord to deliver you from your enemies. With that, Mashpaka,
Hallelujah.
Lakim say, Shalom.
Shalom.